Yo. Yo. All right, starting in 3, 2. Yo. It is January 24th, 2024 at 2:42 a.m. Actually, I have a watch. I'll start my workout. This is Lightning Lab 9 or 009 or 009. And really quick, let's look at the radar. You can see there's storms moving across the area. It's actually scheduled to be storms all night and all tomorrow. But this is a period of, we're getting like a big amount of the storm currently. Oh. So as you can see, it's moving over the area. There's lots of lightning in the northwestern, bit of storm where there was. So I believe there's going to be a fair amount of lightning. There already has been in this area. So I'm not particularly worried. There have been some good lightning strikes already. In fact, as I was recording the previous video, there were lightning strikes. I was recording a video about Stephanie Houston, and there was a lightning strike at the end of the video. That's how I knew that the storm was over the area. I'd already planned on doing a, I'd already planned on doing something like this, but I was doing the Stephanie Houston video like I was talking about. So, let's see, I haven't done one of these in a while, actually. Or, I've done one, but there was no lightning in it, so I felt like it was inappropriate to make a lightning lab. So, right now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run downstairs, get more water, confirm the GoPro is still working, because I'm trying the GoPro 12 instead of the GoPro 10, and I'll be back. And we'll start in full. So. Okay, quickly, let's look at what's going on. Obviously, there's storm conditions going on, so I don't think it's that. Crazy to think that there's going to be some good lightning. Yeah, I just wanted to take a quick look. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Begin. So, I haven't done these in a while. I'm in considerably better shape. I wasn't in bad shape earlier, but I'm in very good shape currently. My leg is almost fixed, it feels like. Uh, One moment. Trying to remember how much of the chair is in the way, but whatever. Okay. Just kind of want to clean viewing corridor. So I've been doing like every night pretty much, with like one break a week about Bulgarian split squats, push-ups, and sit-ups, and I've made considerable progress in like my strength and capabilities. So that's good. But my right leg is still not completely there. But it's like this could be the video. I mean, it literally could happen that you hear some kind of really loud, and it's like and then some crazy lightning thing goes on. But anyway, like it really does feel like it's very close to being fixed, and like very close. I just want to reiterate. Like I'm surprised it hasn't already happened, but kind of maybe maybe you're gonna see something as it happens. But in that, like I'm not even kidding. It literally could be in this video. I feel like the video that I just made about Stephanie Houston really illuminates this what's been going on, and like it makes it very hard to pretend that it's not happening. And I'm being very reasonable when I'm like, okay, this is a thing meant to hurt my mental health. It's really obvious at this point. It's clearly going on. It can't be like the only course of action can't be the responsibility on Matt Wilkins to like avoid this thing. The responsibility should be on the people who are doing it to not do it. Yeah, yeah. So, whew, feels good. Um, I just put out the Simi Hayes 2.0 Part 2 mix. I think it's a very good mix. I enjoy the music that's in it, but I think I did a good job making everything make sense and transitioning everything well and keeping a good flow. And I think it's a good mix. I like it. Just 9 hours, and it's 9.5 hours long, but hey, that's good. It's more music. So it's like all sorts of genres and stuff, and it really should be obvious too that like, hey, this isn't just a normal. This isn't just like someone throwing together songs. Like, you, uh, 183 songs put together in a way where it looks like they could have all just been like, it could have just been one collaboration. Is I think not a small thing. So uh, yeah, but as well as like all the artwork, like the album artwork going together with it, like it all goes together. It's I was happy with how it turned out, to be honest. Uh, and there's some, you know, I think it's just fun. I enjoyed this one, even if it was just long and like a lot of. Uh, it took a lot of considering. A lot of it is like in here thinking like what's gonna go where, and then kind of using those rough outlines to like you can fill it in with other music that maybe relates there. But I'm just happy with how it turned out, and I think it goes together well with part one. And I think the whole thing, like it comes out as it's two parts, but it does feel in the same way that like Simi Hayes want to be one thing. It does feel like that I accomplished that. So I hope people enjoy the music. Yeah. I mean, actually, I do hope people enjoy the music. I enjoy it. I wouldn't do it otherwise. uh, Probably if I hadn't made the Stephanie Houston video, I would have been playing Counter Strike. This is probably going to be flanked by videos of like Counter Strike. as far as like or all around it. You know what I mean? On my YouTube channel. So. Uh, and pretty much all the things that I've been talking about that I was talking about in the previous lighting lab videos, no, like everything's still going on. Pretty much every one of those situations has just gotten more difficult, but I still feel like I have a lot of faith in Yah, Yo, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yao. I'm trying to pronounce it all the different ways people say it. But yo, but yeah, I'm still just having a lot of faith, and I mean it's difficult, and it does not feel easy, and a lot of that has to do with what's going on here. It's like I will be very happy. I think I will be very happy when it finally, like, it'll be such a, like, I've been anticipating it for so long, and that it's been building, and like, there's like, it's that idea almost, it's not like delayed gratification, but it will be very gratifying when it finally does happen, and hopefully, at least, yeah, I think. Uh, it's 3 exactly in the morning now. Uh, let's see. Yesterday, I mean, if today was the 23rd, because it's the 24th, but I haven't gone to sleep yet, right? So, yesterday was the 22nd, but there was like major flooding in San Diego, and it was just from a storm. Like, way more flooding than Hurricane Hillary and other things, and, at least according to the news. So that's interesting because I said something like previously within a few days before or something like that. So like something extreme, but I don't actually think that's the extreme thing yet. I don't think the extreme thing is happened yet, and I think it's, my guess is maybe it probably happens as my knee, like, or whatever. And it's not, maybe it's not exactly the knee. It's, well, it isn't exactly the knee, okay, but it's like, I kind of use that, like the thigh. It's from here, and then like in my toe, I can't engage in the way because whatever's going on up here or here. So, or even just maybe it's at the toe, and I can't do this stuff. I can't engage these things because it's at the toe. But I need my toe key, yo. Unlock it. Come on. There's this car driving by, and it's like a red SUV, and it drives by at the same time. I don't know, did they just wave? They drive by at the same time that I'm doing my workout every night, but they like, I don't know if you could see in the video, maybe you couldn't, but their like headlights were just like on over there. They like stopped, and then they drive by, like they completely stopped, and they drive by fast. I don't know if they're like lighting up a cigarette or whatever, but it's always, sometime between 2 and 4. So I'm assuming they're working at the bar and coming by this way, or working at one of the bars close by, and then like coming by this way. But I'm just always like, my lights on. It's like there's always someone like super late at night, just completely awake, like at the window as they drive by. So I'm assuming it looks like they're just like, what is this person always at the window for? Like especially today, it's like raining, the window's open, but normally I'm doing my workout around this time, so or when they drive by, so they see me and I just find that like it's kind of funny to me. I feel like they're especially how they drive by. I can't tell if they're like confused or if they're lighting up a cigarette or if it's something more nefarious or something. I don't think but I guess it could be. But they just always like stop, just randomly in the middle of the street over there. So I'm just assuming it's like they stop to light a cigarette or that, something. Okay, maybe I'll do. I've just been sitting there in that. Let's try some different things, some different stretches. There's some. Woo! I'm up to the point, like I don't think just pure numbers and doing like push-ups or sit-ups or squats or anything is like, you could do a bunch and not do them in good form, but like, so the number doesn't particularly matter. But I've been doing good form, explosive, or if I need to, like just good, very good form and making sure to contract the whole time and stuff. But like 100 on each leg, split into 4 sets of Bulgarian split squats. I'm sorry. Yeah, so 25 on each leg. And then, after I do one of the sets on both legs, I do 2 sets of 50. Like diamond push-ups to start, and then I do more Bulgarian split squats, and then do 2 more sets of 50 diamond push-ups, and then I do sit-ups, and I do like leg raises, individual leg raises, and bicycles, and then I do the same thing where Bulgarian split squats and push-ups, but regular push-ups, and 50 of 2 sets of 50, and then one more set of Bulgarian split squats, 2 more sets of 50 regular push-ups, and then 1 more set of sit-ups. And I've seen a lot of progress. I mean, it took a while to get up to that point, but I'm doing like good form on a lot of it. Oof, feels great going down. Going down and pushing on the right point right here. Whew. Just felt. Okay, so one of the things with this storm specifically was it during the day, the forecast was like it's 2 or it's 4, like one of it'll be here at 2 or 4 or something, and it's not like completely over us yet, or like the part that's gonna be check on the camera downstairs. Okay, I'm gonna say these letters that I'm reading off of the tag on my thing. It just caught my attention as I was walking by, and uh, it was my thought process as I was walking back was, I was thinking like, hey, yeah, show me, uh, show me what I should pay attention to, or look at, or like, like what what should I do exactly? Like um, what should my focus be on? And as I walked by, these are the letters that I read. It's just they're way bigger than any other letters, and I couldn't see anything else. But Edilly. So that means something. I'm sure it does. So this always works, but at least for me. Then you can probably break that into sets of words, or it's just one word, or it's, you know, yeah, any combination of characters of that word, or it's the letters spelled out, like sounded out as you say them. Probably hear that pop. I think that was more faster. And back here. Awesome. Well, it didn't stop recording. And now it's in focus, like, already. There's times, literally, sometimes I struggle to get it to focus after, repeated attempts. So it's just automatic. But Uh, okay. If the models are accurate, or if that model is accurate specifically, doesn't look like over us specifically right here, we're gonna have like a considerable amount of coverage, like overhead, but there should be maybe some in certain viewing corridors, but like total coverage of over us and the surrounding areas won't happen again until 8, and it'll be pretty intense at 8, but that's 4 hours. I'm not recording for that long. My thought here is, even like I've gotten some decent footage, I'd probably just save, like archive it and save Lightning Lab 009 for some other time. Or, you know, for that, whatever the next Lightning Lab is, next attempt. Obviously, if there's thunder, there's lightning, but might be in that way. I mean, I think, honest, like, as I turned the GoPro on, there was a pretty nice lightning strike, but this, like, wasn't all on yet, so this wouldn't have caught it anyway. So maybe just check on the GoPro. It's like within the first maybe 15 seconds, I think. That was cool, and the lightning looked like there was 2 different colors, or like the clouds lit up purple-ish underneath and blue on top. Pretty cool looking. So, alright, well, I'm getting some. As with previous videos, some of it's just like, oh, I have faith that Yao will do what he like. If he wants to use this as an opportunity, he can. If he doesn't want to, I mean, he doesn't want to. He's a spirit, you know. That's the idea of like. That's the idea. I do think, though, that this looks, just to have this pickup here, looks promising for something, so it does seem, it does seem like this probably, no, just pay attention. I do want to go check on the GoPro, though, just to make sure it's still on and stuff, so I'm going to do that, but while I'm gone, enjoy this. Obviously, there has been an uptick also in lightning. I mean, it's not even visible on the radar yet, as far as, you know, those lightning strikes. I don't think so. I do think, like, as I was going downstairs, I was just thinking, like, yeah, well, I guess every time is an opportunity to see something. And there have been plenty of the videos that I've recorded Lightning Labs that the early on portions, nothing's going on, and then all of a sudden, it's crazy. Or, a significant uptick. So, like I said in previous videos, have faith, wait, hopefully catch something incredible, hopefully be, like, connected to something, show some connection to it so that you can see. When I'm doing the workout, I do a lot of, like, this kind of stretching in between sets. I could actually probably do the workout a lot faster if I didn't sit there a lot of the time, like, trying to do this thing, this thing, whatever. But it feels really nice to, like, it stretches in a lot of different regions that, like, don't get that deep of a stretch normally, and they, like, don't even get activation normally. So that's, some of it I've been trying to, like, I've been feeling new parts of my leg that I just, like, feel like I've never felt before actually. So it's kind of nice that I feel on my left side. Just feels like one thing on the left side actually. Whereas this seems less a whole in, like, a bunch of different parts that are somewhat connected but are connecting. That I, like, have to, as I'm doing this, it almost feels like I'm prying it open. That's a pretty nice example, I think, because I went into the deeper part right as it happened. Try not to get tripped up on the cord again. I think I'm pretty fortunate actually that it didn't shut the video off, because it makes it more of a problem if I have to make it more than one thing, or, like, make each source more than one thing. Yeah, makes it easier, or it makes it less complicated. Okay, I'm getting really deep into the stretch here, and like you're seeing it, like I'm engaging right in through here and stuff. I'm like actively still digging in when I sit down here like this, even when I'm sitting in that chair, but when I'm here at the edge, I plant my heel and can kind of dig in and engage in certain ways that, let's see, I can't move the bed, I guess it could go a little further. And it's really up here that I feel when I'm engaged in like that. Which is where I felt like I was digging into when you saw this stuff a few moments ago. It hurts to try to push against. It really does feel like I'm prying something open, and it hurts. It's a lot of basically like pressure pushing backwards because of the pain that I think otherwise wouldn't be there, and that's the part of it that's impeding. And like I think it's a higher level of pain than most people would believe. Like, but I promise that when I got hit by the car, like if I got hit by the car on video, you can see it. You can see how much it screwed me up. I have enough video of it afterwards to see like I had some bruising on my leg, and it was like not particularly comfortable, but it was. I think for getting hit by a car that was going that fast, I think I did. I think I think it was pretty miraculous looking. I'm sure, but to me it seems like I guess crazy stuff is pretty normal to me, but I mean to that degree. But so I don't exactly know how to judge it as, as far as that's concerned. I'm sure it looks pretty wild though. But like it looks like it would hurt, and it was like I said, it was not comfortable. I think most people would say it hurt a lot. Um, but I explicitly remember, like I still have the video. At some point, I will find me saying this, but that you know, getting hit by the car didn't exactly hurt as much as, or doesn't exactly hurt as much as, like how uncomfortable, like the level of uncomfortable the pain is not as much as the level of uncomfortable the pain is on the thing that I'm like always dealing with here. Which I also think is one of the reasons why when I'm saying what I'm saying, it's like if that is the case, like if you're gonna believe me, a big strike of light. Like my laptop screen flashed white. Um, but it would just make it like, hey, yeah, if something is causing this and it's like, or if something is taking advantage of it to try to like cause more pain on me, it would just make sense as to like a lot, and make stuff make more sense. Like it hurts, and it, more so it's that it's uncomfortable because I can't make it not hurt. Like I can only deal with it, I guess, and like deal with the pain and mitigate it and like not take it to the points where it's like most prevalent. But I do think the strengthening of it makes it so that doesn't as much matter. But I think I've talked about this before. Genesis 32 and snake stuff and whatever. I mean, I've been talking about it for a while, but we're like it. I'll say this: it feels good, like better than it has in a long time. I mean, it really feels like it's connecting in a way. Like, I mean, you saw that one. Actually, when that one happened, there was a sharp pain in my like where the I think that something's up here, or the toes are like not exactly. Oh, the flash just happened on the other webcam. But it does feel a lot like it's down here, like something is, when I said the Tokyo thing, like it does feel like something's my pinky toe is like not able to engage in the way that it should be. Like I've been locked out of the right, my foot being right. I even say this. I was even thinking earlier, like when I was downstairs, like every video is an opportunity to see something, but every video is also an opportunity for like Satan to fall from the sky like lightning. You know what I mean? Like not just see something, but be the to be the to be the thing. Yeah. Obviously, I do think he has a good sense of humor. Uh, yeah, does. Not Satan. I think Satan's probably pretty pretty pissed off that he's about to be thrown down. Or he has been, I guess technically. It's already been written. Written by a thing that actually does what it says, so. don't know if you could hear some of that popping. Might sound like the raindrops, but it was kind of in my knee. I mean, it hurts, but it feels nice to like open up at the same time, so I'm just doing it. I mean, yeah, you see. Also, is that some kind of euphemism for something? Probably, yeah. Nice pop. Uh, I mean, so recently it's been hurting a lot. Like as I've been doing this and gotten, it's gotten a lot stronger. It's like kind of in here. Like here. specifically. And like that stretch that I just did was basically that specifically. In real time, well, like it's gonna look at on the video like they just adjusted the camera at Greenway. So there's this. Looks like it's headed. Oh, I guess it looks like it's headed across. And maybe upward a bit. And kind of spreading out. So, you know, I'm going to give it some more time. I'm already set up. Don't really plan on doing anything as far as, you know, like once I'm done with this, probably just going to upload it and, I mean, get it all on my computer and it'll be like 5 in the morning, so I'm not going to start putting it together. Or will it? Might be later than that. Just depends. That was one. Like, it feels like I'm torquing like something open if I engage it in the right way and then stretch it. And it's like, you know, getting deep into it, and you see a lot of lightning stuff in it when I get really deep into it a lot of the time. Like this feels like I'm prying even this, like here, and it just feels like even like, you know, in my mind, it feels like I'm gonna have muscle there that wasn't there, but I mean, not just like on my left side, it is there, but on this side, it could match my left side, and like the idea is there, but that something is, it just like it's off, and it's. When I do that, specifically this posture, and like do this thing, Um, and try to go all the way up. A lot of the times in the hot yoga classes, I'll literally cramp, and like it's always on my right side. I mean, it's literally because the right side has this issue, right? And the left side I can do it just fine. Like it's tired, but it doesn't cramp. Whereas on the right side, like I do not control it. I do not control it. Cramps me, and I literally have to stop and get out of the posture. Like I cannot complete the posture because of uh, this. What's going on? And the thing that cramps, though, interestingly enough, in that is my calf, which it doesn't even seem like I'm engaging it as I'm doing it. Like, so, I think that you could probably gather a few things from that. Maybe one being that there may be multiple points. Obviously, I brought up like multiple muscle groups in the chain that is my leg that are having issue, and that by doing this and I don't think it just comes down to doing this stuff. I think there's a metaphysical element to this which might be in line with like fixing the issues that I've been having with things and like bringing things into light and whatever. But so I was thinking when that happened, I didn't, I obviously just saw that it did something. I'm digging in on my side, like right leg, it's just a bit. But I was thinking, I've been saying the word whatever a lot recently. And I don't believe, probably if you go back through my videos, you could, I mean, you literally can, like, you can actually do this. And this is what I've been talking about. You'd be able to ask AI, like, well, how much have I said it? When did I start saying it? Like, what is the thing? You know what I mean? Like, at least if you're watching the videos, like, I'd be able to say, like, well, when did I start saying it? And, like, you can go back, like, this much, and there's probably some kind of trigger or impetus, right? Just like, just like when I say something and you see some lightning stuff. When I think something and there's some lightning stuff, that's even one of things that I was gonna say there. Oh, and that something about ever. Oh, the Stephanie Houston thing the video that I just recorded. Uh, I was like, well, what is this word? What, like, where did I see it just recently? And I was thinking, oh, because I did the who, what, when, where, how thing, and I guess the what. But this probably will not be up until it's not going to immediately be up, and so it would be the Stephanie Houston, at least it's currently titled, as it's like ready to go up. Stephanie Houston versus Stephanie Houston vs. my mental health. VS. Okay. Yeah. So Victoria's Secret versus, right? And they're like I even brought up in the video, like Satan and his angels, and I brought this up in other videos. But that VS is it versus, and someone thinks they're player two, and they're using, they have these angels to attack, or they think it's a game, and they're using these angels, and then they've come up against like if the one conquering at the seven churches, right? That, and so whatever adversarial that's with that, or are they supposed to be? Are they friendly? It doesn't seem like it, but it seems like versus, right? VS. In Revelation, most people think like, oh, it's like Satan and demons versus, or like the devil and demons versus God and angels. But it's like, well, there's angels are messengers, and the idea is that they're messengers or dispatches of Yah, Yo, the God of Israel, right? And Michael in Revelation that I bring up in the video that I'm talking about. Michael is like a word that means like it's a name, but the name Mikael is like a question in Hebrew. Who like God, right? And I think the answer is found in Zechariah 12, and it's the house of David. And the idea, I believe, is that Jesus being like Jesus is perpetually alive in that position, and like that's the that's some crazy lightning. I don't know if you can see. I think it cuts off too, but maybe the GoPro product like straight down the viewing corridor, just like straight ahead. But I suppose the idea that I'm getting at is that maybe the one conquering at the seven churches I think looks, it seems to me is the person on Revelation 19. Like you get to be the person. That's what the that's what the gifts ultimately add up to. Uh, like I said, it's like a sword in the stone, Excalibur type thing. But uh, but the when it's talking about Michael in Revelation 12, if you go back to Daniel and it talks about Michael, it's uh, he's one of like the prince of the people, the great prince of the people, and that so I guess he and his angels uh, defeat Satan and his that was a nice pop. Uh, defeat Satan and his angels, right? And Satan and his angels are thrown down from heaven. And then you go back to that part in Luke, and it's like the guy's like, I saw Satan fall like lightning from the sky. So I think that's kind of what it's hinting at there. Seems reasonable enough to me. That's the whole point. Everything seems to be reasoned, and reasonable. So it's picking up a bit. Good sign. Good sign. We want to see something, and yeah, I like to see something. Maybe we've seen a bit. Actually, I think some of the stuff that we've already seen is like, oh, we can probably see some even more, especially as it's picking up. I definitely believe it. Like as I'm stretching here, it's just right in through here is like this point right there. Like then as I was doing that, like out here is the part that I'm trying to keep my foot also flush against the ground to engage the muscle, all the muscle. And like it hurt, like this is not, this hurts. This is not comfortable, but yeah, this hurts. I mean, if I go deep enough into it, I can already just as I'm doing this, it feels like there's pressure on it in a way that's stop. I don't want to keep going like this. because I just engaged something like it's one of those that like are activated or whatever, you know, like on my left side I feel like I can kind of trigger everything and however I need, right? But on the right side I I can't do that and I have to go through to even like get some of the muscle to engage right. I have to posture it in a certain way before I can like feel that it's activated or anything. Or not feel that it's activated. I don't even need to. On like on the left side, it just goes. On the right side, I gotta do workarounds and stuff to make it happen. I don't know if I just caught that bird of prey. I think swooping down. And now, now a bird of prey. I guess it's going for something. Actually, as I was going by, there was a rabbit as I was coming back from Chick-fil-A earlier. A rabbit right across the road. It's adorable. But, yeah. A rabbit. I want to actually, I just got into the stretch in a nice way, so I was about to stand up and go change to the radar and look at it for a second, but I find it difficult at times to like, you know, it's not always, I don't always just get to points where as I'm doing it, I can activate or engage whatever and like really actually get the stretch in right. So when I do, I'm gonna take advantage of it. But which is part of the issue on this side is like I can't. It's not always a favorable foundation. Or like I don't always get my foot in a favorable situation for being able to activate certain things. So okay, let's look. Not sure if it actually looks like that. Because it doesn't. But now it does. Oh. I just give something away there. It was cool though, just because it's different colors, right? I mean, the sky looks different colors in different places. I think we'll see on the video. Doesn't always come through in the video as it does, like just through your eyes, right? But obviously, it's got to go through the camera sensors and stuff. And may not always accurately represent what's there. The neighbor's light went on and then went off, but maybe like our mailbox is just blinking. I don't. It had to have just started recently, and so I mean I can see it like it's pretty bright actually, and it's just blinking towards their house. I mean I can't do. I don't know where the mailbox connects, so I couldn't really turn it off. But I'll deal with that. Deal with that tomorrow. I'm just gonna have to deal with the night of blinking light. Ooh. Feel it right in here too. I should probably go check on the GoPro. Okay, yeah, hold on. I just refreshed the recording of the webcam because after 2 hours, YouTube just auto refreshes your page if you've been playing a live video and it's just been on. And or not auto refreshes. What was the issue that I've been having? Like it's something about like it just won't go for that long, and it will maybe like hang at a certain point as far as the video is concerned. Like it'll just pause. So I'll make sure that it stays synced. I can just use the same. So I don't have to split that into multiple videos. To like tie all these videos together takes a lot of like, takes effort actually, you know. But I believe they're worthwhile, so. No, before I got up, I was gonna say something. No, I was just gonna talk about I recorded a video about Stephanie Houston versus my mental health, and I brought Stephanie Houston vs my mental health. Yeah, I meant it like that as I said it, but. Kind of coming in. Oh no. I think that video is like, I'm not exactly sure how complete it is as far as does it get, like it doesn't get everything over. I can't in just one video probably, and you know some of it is that I do have like just an extended period of like a significant portion of videos relating to it that could all be linked together, you know what I mean? And you absolutely get context from that, and that the I think that in that you can really clearly tell, like, okay, it's been enough time that, and very clearly, as I had previously engaged this, she hadn't been so on the nose, like, there was plausible deniability, but it would have been a lot harder to, like, get gaslight in that situation. But like doing the thing named Matt, where it's just like it's literally like it's so clearly on the nose and aimed towards me. I think we're at the point where it's like, again, as I said previously, if you didn't have context of what the actual situation was, maybe like that previous video wouldn't be enough. But having context of it, right, and around it, and like knowing, like if you knew me and saw what I went through and like how I was during that period, and like it turns out I wasn't wrong and this person was doing this and it was specifically intended towards me, like I can imagine, first of all, like there's a lot of people that like tried to tell me nothing was going on, and it's like, yeah, it clearly is going on actually, and like you think that she would be in a thing called Matt if there wasn't, right? Like at this point, like would she make the decision to do that if it wasn't like on purpose? No. I think though that I make a valid point of like, I don't believe the impetus should be on me to stop looking at this thing when people are bullying and like, you know, are actively like trying to attack my mental health, right? It's like I think the impetus absolutely should be on the person to stop, right? Like, you're doing something wrong. And like, you know, it seems just on the basis of what you're doing, it seems like destructive, right? Or like it's hurting people, it's causing problems. But, you know, I can't imagine that. Honestly, like, I feel like they're just gonna get, like, it's so obvious now, and they're gonna take this. They're just gonna, like. I guess just keep doing what you're doing. That's what I'm getting. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Cause like, what I'm saying seems so rational. It doesn't seem like I don't think anybody can say like can question. I think it's pretty unquestionable. It's like no, you like you should just stop doing this thing that is wrong that you obviously know is wrong that you're doing. Specifically to me, I mean that's why I'm the interested party here. It is so specific. I feel like though that I do have faith, like what it says in Revelation, the stuff about sitting on the throne and taking my gold and like eye ointment to anoint your eyes so that you can see and stuff, and white robes, and you know it does. I do feel it feels hard in the moment to be like, well, how like it's not. It doesn't feel good. Maybe it feels bad going through this kind of thing. But then I think about like, okay, I'm as much as I can imagine or think of. I really do believe like Yah can do more. Yo, like the God, the supreme deity of the Bible that seems very reasoned and like kind and just and merciful and loving and like wants the best for everything, right? Actually, not like you know. I think a lot of these concepts are just used to like manipulate things and to be whatever snaky and stuff. That's I've brought it up before, but that you don't see that like I don't see that in the Bible that it logics out like a lot of the things just make sense. That's why it like and the symbolism makes sense. There's too much that makes sense. It makes too much reason, and I think some people are bothered by that. Like I think I said in the things like they don't want anything to make sense and they just want to enjoy things until they're gone, and that's how they think of it. But it doesn't actually work like that. But they want to think that. But the like I think I really believe this that like the kingdom of heaven when it talks about it, it's not talking about something like like the up in the clouds or whatever. It's literally talking about a place in the future. Like after a certain point, everything. There's a like. I think a singularity is a good word for it, but it's like it becomes one. We're going one place, right? But it's like a considerably, we're already there once we're there, but it's like a considerably better place than what this is and what this has been. And believe in the ability of a deity that has made all this, like an entity, an intelligence, a deity, a wise thing, I think, or something that's exists that possesses wisdom, understanding, knowledge, like all the these things, but like uses wisdom, and using wisdom like creates this ordered thing that we exist in order to like sensorily experience it, I guess, be a part of it, but that at one point something fell, and I think it's described in the like we didn't meet the ideal, we missed the ideal, which is the idea of sin, right? That's what the word sin is. It's like a miss. And you miss the point, you miss the thing, right? It's like missing God's, when they say it, it's like missing basically the more perfect reality and foregoing that for something else, I think, is the idea. And I say more perfect, the one that, like, the highest form of what I just explained that actually exists, intended, and, like, probably pretty nice, actually. I mean, honestly, with what it's that we, like, overlook certain things, but I think that powerful being, like, supreme, when it uses words to describe, it's like these adjectives and superlatives and stuff, but just, I can't really explain it. I think it's that Yah is so great that, like, there isn't something outside of its ability, and so if I'm imagining that something exists like that, it's like more, I'm the limiting factor. Does that make sense? But what am I going to limit Yah? Like, am I going to limit, the God of Israel, the deity that actually exists? Like, not really. If he doesn't want to be limited, he's not going to be limited. But I think he's put in, made things work in a certain way, and he like goes along with it, and he chooses times to do things and make points. But there is an official narrative. It's called the Bible. There's a reason the part where it's like explaining what's coming is like written in very veiled writing and stuff. But I think the point is that at least from if I was a kid and I was watching someone explain, like, if I listened to a bunch of preachers and I heard what they were saying about what this all is, and then I saw me, or like if I was an adult, but I think kids are not as limited as adults as far as like they haven't put certain ideas up that are like gonna block what imagine like truly like thinking bigger than what we are. And like I think a lot of older people are like they limit themselves because they kind of have to like deal with the mental stress of just existing in this thing. They kind of have to, or for them to keep doing the thing that they do. Do you have to? I take a harder path. I think seems to be what might be what I've done. I think that is what it wants you to do biblically. But there's a lot of people that kind of pretend. But I still think Jesus is. I mean, it would make sense that he's still there for, even people who are just going about pretty robotically. But I think some of the thing is when stuff happens, he just, Okay, if we're looking at this, I don't, I'm not exactly a fan of the Star Wars, using Star Wars allegory, because it, like, I don't want something to control the concept of what Yoda is. That, you know, like, that's for yo. But, that being said, I do think this, like, idea of, like, okay, well, there's a reason, like, Yoda has this, you know, story, whatever, but it's not, like, an easy path, right? He goes through a lot of stuff. Similarly, looking at it, like, you know, there's all sorts of just random characters, right? And, like, most people are just looking to be a random character, right? Or, like, because it's easy. But, you know, you see the difference, like, I always thought the Rogue One ending where you see Darth Vader and he's just, like, going through the rebels, like, and he's, like, it's all, there's, like, nothing, it makes him look, you get really, like, this menacing vibe, and, like, you don't get that in the other things, but that you realize, like, oh, most of these guys that you see are just, like, they don't have a chance against this dude. And, like, but, you know, some of it I realize, like, is what I'm saying, like, well, there is this choice, like, I think people limit themselves, too. It just is what it is. I'm not guilty of it, I just think that, you know, I actively try to believe greater, like, believe, you know, and I think that's a lot of the fight, actually, is, like, believing is, like, the more you believe whatever, I think it becomes more of a threat to, you know, anything that might be adversarial, and so it picks up to, like, try to prevent it, and so it just gets more adversarial, so you just gotta believe more, and that, I guess that's the idea when it talks in the New Testament about, like, the perseverance and stuff. What is it, like, this develops character, and character to, like, what is it, faith develops, whatever, long story short, it ends with steadfastness, but but the point, I just kind of skipped the, you know, the moral of the story is actually, it takes a while of going through it, but, you know, I'm paraphrasing it, obviously I understand the meaning, but I've never been good at just memorizing text. And there's, like, only some verses that I actually just have, like, that I remember a lot. Or, and, you know, one another thing is, there's English translations, so there's not, like, any one, like, the Greek would be saying it in Greek if it was the New Testament, or in Hebrew if it's the Old Testament, would be you're saying it as it's written. But I guess for that manuscript too, but whatever. They're all pretty close with the Bible and, like, the Quran, but that's not for that right now. That's a subject that goes, it's, like, really, unless you care about it, you know, it's not gonna, probably not gonna sit there and listen to it. I mean, maybe. I do think it's super relevant these days, and it gives you, like, you know, having knowledge on it is, like having knowledge about the Quran, it, like, during, like, this whole Israel Hamas, Palestine, whatever you want to say it is, what's been going on in the Middle East and Israel since October 7th, right? And in Gaza. Just, like, you know, a lot of it is once you understand what the Quran says about stuff, and that, like, the whole culture over there is to be driving towards what it says Quranically, right? Like, kind of biblical ideology here in the West is like, well, you can kind of do what you want. I mean, you know, the idea is to, like, follow Yah, Jesus, Yah, same thing. Yo, what's the point? But, but to follow him by choice, as opposed to, robotically submitting to the Mecca, whatever the giant fighting robot that Islam has become. But canonically, even Islam itself is about submission, but Christianity is, and what Judaism was supposed to be, is about having a relationship with the deity Yah, Yo. And I say that in both ways. It's Yah, but if it's prefixed, it's Yo. Yeah. Okay. Yo. So. I also find it interesting, knowing this name that I talk about even in the thing is it talks about it multiple times in Revelation that it's important. The, you know, leader of the Hamas resistance, Yahya Sinwar. I brought this up, I think, in other things, but his name literally undoes the thing that he's fighting, for, essentially. Hamas is like a religiously motivated, that's what it started as. And again, all the culture over there and Arab culture is very much geared towards Islam and following what the Quran says, right? And, there's various levels of people going to, ISIS wants to do it just word for word and take things to the extreme, and, the Gulf Arab states don't go that far. Though, they still obviously, and also it's beneficial for them to be it benefits them to be the place that all people go to submit to Islam. You got to take them to Hajj, you got to go to Mecca, so it's very beneficial for Saudi Arabia specifically, but understanding that the leader of the Palestinian resistance, or I guess the leader of the, because they're Arabs, are they Palestinian, the ancient Palestinians? That also creates another problem. If those Palestinians, Quranically, it creates a problem actually. But because it specifically says in the Quran that, when David and Jalut fight, which is David and Goliath, he didn't realize Goliath is a Philistine, and David is a Jewish shepherd boy, and no, he's a Hebrew, and he comes to fight in the name of Yahweh, but and he fights Jalut, and obviously in the Quran they take anything it says Allah, but in the Bible the word etymologically Allah just comes from this word that means God, so basically it is the word God, right? It is just the word deity. It means deity. So the idea that Yahya Sinwar is the leader of this Hamas group, but it's Palestinian resistance, right? But his name is literally the name of the God of Israel, and even when David goes and fights Goliath, right? Daud fights Jalut in the Quran, but in the Bible he comes in the name of Yahweh Zavot, and in Yahweh Zabot, but in he's very specifically was I'm gonna do this in this name,
But in the Quran, it doesn't have that, obviously, because it's like a different deity that's trying to usurp that reality and throne. But I do find it funny that the dude's name is Yahya, and it just disproves like the whole thing because everything biblical is way older than anything Quranic. Like literally, the oldest stuff in the New Testament was written 500 years before anything possibly could have been written Quranically, and like archaeologically, this stuff you can't. When if you were to go and dig and like look for this stuff, first of all, most of the stories are just ripped from the Bible anyway, but and then like altered, but the the idea that this guy is literally named like Yahya. I mean, that's the name of the God of Israel. It's just ironic to me. It's so ironic that I have trouble getting over the point, but it just is. Um, Maybe he thinks that's who he is, but then like that disproves the whole Quran thing. So then he's not a Muslim, and then all the people it's like this doesn't. This is what I'm talking about being in chaos. Like this shit doesn't logic out if you actually think about it at all. But most people aren't thinking about it, and certainly not the people who are willing to kill for it. So, or they are, and they're just puppets being used by whatever spirit thing is manipulating them, or whatever the giant mecha thing product. Whatever. But I also want to say in the previous video, I was talking about the Stephanie Jewson versus my mental health video. It ends with like the lightning strikes, and I'm like, all right, hold on, I gotta go do something. Like I was already kind of in the video, or I was already in the video, but I just think it's funny. All right, hold on, I gotta do lightning stuff. Hold on. Okay, I was even gonna say like even the character like I play a portion of the Metal Gear Solid thing, or the Mix Yo X3, but it has some like a clip of Metal Gear Solid in it, and it talks about Raiden, right? And this character Raiden or whatever, and they call him Jack in that, but again, uh, it seems to be like suggestive of. Well, I'd say first of all, if you look at lightning stuff, but it's also interesting. It's also interesting. Like, okay, I think yeah, right, all right. But I look at the a here. I'm trying to get it more in so that you can see more when. But she like this Stephanie Jewson's recent thing has been the Holler Jack thing called Matt, but Holler Jack. I think someone's trying to suggest it. It's trying to be that thing, but it's like at this point, I just feel like it's not doing a good job. Like, okay, all right, sure.
also brought up like it. You know, I think some of this is to like taint me against the like names of my family members, and this is what I'm talking about, like this person versus my mental health. It's like if you're wondering why it was bothersome the first time and why it was like, I mean, come on, but it's that it seems specifically designed to like cause me problems that like cause my mental health problems, and that it's using some techniques that are, you know, snaky, and you know the whole snaky magic connection thing that I was talking about. But it's like it's the dark arts or whatever. But you know, this shit ain't Harry Potter. This is real life, and Ya is. Well, you can see what it says. But I would say he's made some very obvious points towards this situation. No, I don't hate Harry Potter. I've said that before. I mean, I think you can draw allegories from it that are like, okay, see, this is going on. This is what people think. They think they're wizards. They think they're like mentalists and stuff, and that they're doing snaky stuff. And you know, it's the idea of like, you know, why I think a lot of this goes on. But in reality, it's just. I do think they get, you know, it's like you know, a lot of it is like really like mentalism and trying to like manipulate people psychologically and stuff like that. And like it's just I don't think it's good. Or they definitely don't use it for it's like it's knowledge, right? But they use it for stuff that's troublesome and problematic for a lot of people. Just causing problems. You know, one of my one of the things that I was thinking is like, what, like, I don't think this ends. Like, as far as this storm here, like this literal storm, like what's going on right now, not like me symbolically saying talking about a storm or figuratively, you know what I mean? But like the storm that is actively dropping rain on this area, that it's just gonna go for a while. It's like, you know, uh, there's a bunch of storms training or streaming north and east, kind of like across, and just it's just gonna be going on for a while, and like I think there's gonna be periods where it's more intense and periods where it's less intense, and like there's not really gonna be an end. Like I'm just gonna have to end it because there's no way I could record the whole thing. So I'm not gonna record, you know, too much longer than I normally would, or not normally would, but like then maybe a really long lightning lab, which is like 3 hours and 30 minutes. We're already approaching 3 hours, but you know, once it gets to a certain point, it is extremely unreasonable. Like I don't even like with this one. I'm not even thinking I'm gonna timestamp it. Like I don't even know. Like I don't even want to make the video at this point. It's such a like putting it all together is time consuming to like put it up and to do the timestamps, and then
like I'm I'm gonna do it, but I'm like thinking one of the things is even that I'm saying is like it's the editing takes a while, and then the rendering itself, like making the video of all the different sources and making it one video file takes a considerable amount of time, and then timestamping it maybe takes the most amount of time, or the most amount of my time, because as it's rendering, I can do something else. But the the there it is. The time stamping. Well, I think it's maybe one of the most important parts, at least for me, because then I can go through and like quickly find stuff. Just take, because I gotta watch the whole video like intently for like every instance, right? Or I feel like I should or have to, like if I'm doing it to this point. And I think it also helps me then find it later if I'm gonna do a compilation, which is part of the point, or would help AI automate and like do more specifically what I want without me having to like make specific. I can just be like, well, look at what I've done, and then you can match that in the least, right? Like that would be reasonable. So I like the sky was purple. Purple. Like I think those are pretty far away. Those lightning flashes, at least that most those that I could probably you can clearly see on this. But they look like, right, like way off in the distance over the houses, but they're still kind of lighting up all of the sky. Okay, well, not that I think the radar's been particularly accurate tonight, but at least where we are. But it looks like it thinks we're gonna get a bit more. I do think. I think we're gonna get. I think it's just gonna go on for a while, but not at any particular intensity. I think it's just gonna vary until for a while. I'll give it we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes. I'll give it a bit more time. I mean, it actually kind of feels like it just started to pick up a bit more, but I do kind of want to. I don't want to do another 3 hour one. I mean, it's what it's gonna be, but I don't want to go over 3 hours particularly. So that would be a good cutoff point, I think. And so we'll give this a bit more time. Just see what happens. I mean, why not? But why not is 3 hours, and it's past 3 hours. That's why not. Just because it also becomes considerably more. I mean, if there's good stuff in it, but if it just becomes considerably more time consuming. It takes more time to render. It takes more time to sync up the different portions, because at certain points, after an hour, the lightning strikes just won't sync if you don't go back in, because they're not exactly at the same speed the cameras aren't. And because lightning is something that happens very fast, you want them to be synced up very accurately, so that you can see it across the different cameras, But the longer the video goes, the less synced up it's gonna be, and it's not like I don't want to go in every 20 minutes remove 1 or 2 frames to make it synced. It's too. That would be too time consuming, and I don't think it would gain as much. But it's just pleading with manufacturers of these devices, if you say 60 frames per second, just make it exactly 60 frames per second, or make a standard. 60 frames per second means 60 frames per second, not 59 point, decimal point down the line, or 60 point decimal point down the line. I mean, because that's what it is that one of them's a little faster, one of them's a little slower, so they just unsync over time. It's bothersome on a video like this, or on videos like these, just because the whole point is that there's a bunch of cameras that are synced up, and so if they can't exactly stay like that, okay. But it really is, I think it would be too much, or not enough, to go in and alright, how many exactly frame, we chop the video segment and slightly move it 3 frames forward every 20 minutes. It's just would not. It's already more time consuming than I want it to be, even just getting everything organized on the screen and understandable. I will be very happy when I can just say to an AI, do something like this. You can even make it look nicer and kind of shift stuff around or something. But we're getting about 3 hours here, and I mean, look, I think it's gonna go on, and there's gonna be lightning, and there's probably gonna be a point. Like if I turn the video off, for sure in the next few hours, it's gonna be more intense lightning, right? And the conditions are around, I could probably sit around and do this stuff to try to see like what happens, right? But I just feel like there's no reason currently to go over 3 hours, or considerably over, because I don't think I'm gonna finish the video before. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna. So I'm gonna end this here. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna go to 3 hours and 5 minutes. I mean, I feel like maybe I've done this before, haven't I? Where I've been like, well, actually, let's see. We'll give it one more. We'll give it one more go. And there's something that happens. Why not? I mean, look. Okay. Why? I've already explained why and why not, so I'm not gonna do that again. But I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. 10 if there's something interesting. Because this is the type of thing that I'm talking about, where we're like, oh, a sense of humor. I get it. Okay, I see. That was cool looking. And, you know, interestingly timed, huh?
All right, we're at almost 3 hours and 10 minutes, and that's where I'm gonna end it. So I hope you've enjoyed, and that I think there's been some interesting stuff that's happened at different points in it. My leg is still not completely good right now, but it's not. It does feel better. Like it, it's just like actually getting to the point where it feels normal or good or healthy or something. And so I'm gonna keep continuing to work on it and doing this, and like progress has been made, like significant progress has been made, and so I think that will continue until it's completed. So, all right, hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. Uh, you know, yeah. Okay. Later. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wow, there's a lot of water on this. There's a nylon cord, so it's kind of wet. Uh oh. The neighbor has his. There's like multiple neighbors have their recycle lids open. So I think that's probably going to be a problem here soon. But it's just me thinking. Um, okay, I'll go get the GoPro and probably gonna eat and go to sleep. I don't think I'm gonna put this like together tonight even. So that's. It's just really a lot to do as one person, and if I didn't have time on my hands, I probably could not do it. At least not to the level that I'm doing it, or like to the quality. Okay. Let me turn this back into normal mic operation mode. And I'm gonna end this with this, so that's it. And I'll probably make a video out of this, and this will be in the OBS version, so uh let's see, do I have any other thoughts I'd like to get out? Not really. I'm gonna go get the GoPro and also get some food. So, all right. Anyway, have a blessed one. I'll catch you. Blessed one. Catch you next time. Later. Yeah.